Success is not built on working harder every single day, it's built on seeing the world differently. Simon Sinek often challenges the way we think about leadership progress and personal growth. Today, I want to share with you a powerful insight inspired by his philosophy, but told through a different lens. Imagine two young entrepreneurs, James and Eric. Both start their businesses at the same time. James spends every waking moment hustling nonstop, burning himself out, thinking that the more hours he grinds, the faster he'll win. Eric, on the other hand, deliberately steps back every few months, not to rest, but to rework his vision, rethink his strategy, and refine his skills. A year later, James is exhausted and stuck. Eric's business is thriving. The difference: Eric didn't just work harder. He worked smarter and invested in sharpening himself before swinging harder at the problems. If you truly want to achieve more, you need more than effort. You need a lifetime strategy powered by sharp thinking and deliberate action. This is the essence of daily motivation. Not just a quick hit of inspiration, but a long-term commitment to getting better every single day. In today's video, we'll break down 5 crucial lessons drawn from Simon Sinek's best ideas, each one designed to help you stay energized, focused, and ahead of the curve. Which lesson will hit you the hardest? Stay tuned, and make sure you comment below as you listen. Share which insight shifts your thinking the most. Let's dive deep into building a life of real purpose with powerful daily motivation. Sharpen your axe. Why an infinite mindset wins the long game? Most people think success is a sprint, a frantic race to see who can stack the most achievements in the shortest amount of time. They measure progress by the number of hours worked, the number of tasks completed, or the number of accolades won. But the truth, as Simon Sinek so often reminds us, is that real success operates on a different timeline. It is not about how much you can grind today. It's about how long you can keep growing, adapting, and thriving over a lifetime. To understand this better, imagine two farmers, Daniel and Marcus. Both start their farms on the same day. Daniel rushes out every morning, planting as many seeds as he can, barely stopping to plan, never adjusting his methods. Marcus, meanwhile, takes a slower approach. He studies the land, improves his techniques, and sharpens his tools regularly. In the first year, Daniel's farm looks busier, more active, but by the 5th year, it's Marcus whose crops are flourishing beyond imagination. Marcus understood something Daniel didn't: speed without sharpening eventually leads to collapse. The same principle applies to our lives, our careers, and our dreams. If all you do is push harder every day without stepping back to reassess, refine, and sharpen your thinking, you will eventually burn out. You'll chop and chop, but your axe, your skills, your mind, your energy will become dull. Effort alone is not enough to build a legacy. You must build yourself, and that demands a different mindset, an infinite mindset, one that prioritizes endurance over urgency. Having an infinite mindset means understanding that resting, learning, and even stepping away are not signs of weakness. They are strategic investments. Taking a real vacation, reading new books, revisiting your goals, upgrading your skills. These are acts of sharpening the axe. They don't slow you down. They set you up to move faster and cut deeper when it truly counts. The world will constantly push you to stay busy, to stay visible, to stay grinding. But those who are wise enough to pause and sharpen are the ones who ultimately win. Daily motivation is not just about waking up hyped to crush the day. It's about building habits that keep your mind, your heart, and your vision sharp over years and decades. It's about asking yourself every day, am I just chopping harder, or am I becoming better? A lifetime of chopping without sharpening leads to exhaustion. A lifetime of deliberate sharpening leads to mastery. There's a powerful question you need to start asking yourself regularly. When was the last time I stopped to sharpen my axe? If you can't remember, you're probably working harder than necessary. Take an honest look at your routines. Are you investing time in learning, in thinking, in reassessing your strategy, in resting your mind so you can see things clearly? If not, you're not playing the long game, and deep down you know it. So tell me, when will you sharpen your axe this week? Comment below and make a public commitment. Let's hold each other accountable. Because at the end of the day, winning isn't about who chops the most wood today. It's about who can keep chopping year after year without losing strength, clarity, or purpose. And that's the true power of daily motivation, the steady sharpening of a life built to last. Go after what you want. Stop seeing the barriers. The way you see the world determines the life you create. Simon Sinek captures this truth perfectly when he explains that some people see only the thing they want, while others see only the obstacles standing between them and that thing. It's not that one path is easier or one dream more accessible. It's simply that some people are trained to focus on the prize, while others are conditioned to be intimidated by the process. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Imagine two young professionals, Olivia and Brian, who both dream of becoming writers. They attend the same workshops, read the same books, hear the same advice. Yet when Olivia sees a publishing competition with hundreds of applicants, she thinks, "I have to try. Imagine if I win." Brian sees the same competition and thinks, "There's no point. The odds are against me." Over time, Olivia stacks up experience, builds her portfolio, and lands small wins that snowball into big ones. Brian, meanwhile, stays on the sidelines, watching, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. The truth is, life rarely clears the path for you. The line for the bagels is always there. The competition, the setbacks, the rejections. They're constants. If you're waiting for them to disappear before you go after what you want, you'll be waiting your entire life. Those who win are not the ones who face fewer barriers. They're the ones who refuse to be paralyzed by them. They act anyway. They move forward anyway. Here's something that's critical to understand. You do not have to play by everyone else's rules. You don't have to wait in line if you can find an ethical, respectful way to reach your goal faster. You don't have to take the traditional path if you're willing to carve your own. Opportunity is not reserved for the lucky few. It belongs to the bold. Those who dare to lean in, even when the line looks long, even when the odds look impossible. Daily motivation is not just about getting fired up. It's about training your mind to filter what you focus on. Every morning you get to choose. Will you focus on the bagel or the line, the dream or the obstacle, the possibility or the excuse? Your mind is a muscle, and whichever perspective you feed daily will dominate your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your life. So ask yourself right now, what's the dream you've been holding back on because of some imaginary line you think you have to stand in? Maybe it's starting your business. Maybe it's writing your first book. Maybe it's applying for the opportunity you think is too big for you. Stop waiting. Stop letting the barrier hypnotize you into inaction. Today I challenge you. Identify one goal you've been putting off and take one bold step toward it before the day ends. Comment below and tell me, what dream are you finally ready to chase no matter how long the line looks? Your breakthrough doesn't come when the obstacles disappear. It comes when you choose to act in spite of them. And that choice is the foundation of lasting success, fueled by true daily motivation. True strength is helping the person next to you. In a world obsessed with individual achievement, it's easy to believe that success is a solo journey. The truth, however, is very different. Simon Sinek reminds us that real strength is not about standing alone at the finish line, it's about lifting others as you climb. The most elite warriors in the world, the Navy SEALs, understand this better than anyone. Their toughest training doesn't just test physical endurance, it reveals character. When every ounce of strength is drained, when there's nothing left in the tank, it's not the biggest or fastest who rise, it's those who, even when broken, still reach out to help the person next to them. This is a radical shift from how most people view success. We are taught to compete, to dominate, to prove our superiority. But the true test of leadership of greatness is not what you can accomplish alone, it's what you empower others to do alongside you. The ones who win the long game aren't those obsessed with beating everyone else. They're the ones obsessed with building everyone else. That's real strength. That's real resilience. Think about it. When was the last time you felt overwhelmed, exhausted, and defeated, and someone showed up to help you. Maybe it was a mentor who gave you a new perspective. Maybe it was a friend who stood by you when you doubted yourself. Maybe it was someone who believed in you when you couldn't find the strength to believe in yourself. Those moments are not accidents, they are lifelines. And the more we offer them to others, the stronger we all become. The world is too dangerous and too complex for anyone to believe they can do it alone. Yet many of us still pretend we can. We wear masks of invincibility, afraid to show weakness, afraid to admit we need help. But vulnerability is not a weakness. It's a bridge. When you admit you're stuck, when you ask for help, when you offer help without being asked, you create bonds that can carry you further than any individual effort ever could. Daily motivation isn't just about pumping yourself up. It's about remembering that you're part of something bigger. Every day you have a choice. You can focus solely on your goals, your wins, your progress, or you can build a life where success is shared, where victories are multiplied, where no one gets left behind. If you want to live a life of true impact, you must practice two skills relentlessly: asking for help when you need it, and offering help when you see someone struggling. These are muscles that grow stronger the more you use them. And when you do something incredible happens, you discover that you were never really alone. There were always people willing to run with you, fight for you, believe in you. You just had to let them in. Now I want to hear from you. When was the last time you truly helped someone when it wasn't convenient? Or when someone helped you when you least expected it? Comment below and share your story. Because the more we remind each other that none of us succeed alone, the stronger we all become. And that truth, that profound connection, is one of the purest forms of daily motivation you'll ever experience: humility and accountability, owning your voice, owning your impact. Leadership is often misunderstood. Many believe it's about commanding authority, delivering orders, or always being the smartest person in the room. But as Simon Sinek teaches us, true leadership and true greatness comes from humility and accountability. It's about creating spaces where others feel heard before you speak. It's about having the courage to admit when you are the problem. It's about understanding that the environment you shape is what defines the culture around you. Think about Nelson Mandela, one of the most revered leaders the world has ever known. As a boy, he sat in countless tribal council meetings with his father. What shaped him wasn't grand speeches or flashy displays of power. It was watching his father listen. First, always allowing every voice in the circle to speak before offering his own thoughts. Mandela understood that leadership begins with listening, not speaking. When you hold your opinion until others have spoken, you give them dignity, you give them ownership, and you give yourself the full picture before acting. But humility doesn't end with listening. It demands accountability. Sometimes, despite our best intentions, we are the problem. Sometimes the system is broken because we are maintaining it. History offers a brutal lesson in this during the Black Death of childbirth. Doctors, men of science, clung to tradition and ego so tightly that they ignored the simple truth. They were causing the deaths. It took decades of stubbornness, denial, and unnecessary tragedy before they admitted it was their failure to wash their hands that was killing women. How often in our own lives do we refuse to look in the mirror? How often do we blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck, when deep down we know that part of the problem is us? True daily motivation doesn't come from pretending we're perfect. It comes from having the guts to say, "I was wrong. I will do better." That kind of honesty is rare, and it's where real strength begins. Leadership, whether in a company, a family, or a friendship, is not about controlling people. It's about creating an environment where people can thrive. Look at the Four Seasons Hotel and the simple but powerful difference between their culture and others. At the Four Seasons, employees feel cared for, respected, and supported. At other places, employees feel watched, judged, and drained. The secret isn't in better hiring, it's in better leadership. People reflect the environment you create. If you demand excellence, create a space where excellence is possible. And here's the hardest truth to swallow: the perks, the status, the applause you receive as you rise, they're not truly for you. They belong to the position you hold, The ceramic cup you're handed when you reach the top isn't because you're special, it's because of the office you represent. When you leave the perks, stay behind. Never forget the humility of the styrofoam cup. It reminds you that no matter how high you climb, you are still a servant first, to the mission, to the people you lead, and to the standards you claim to stand for. So let me ask you, when was the last time you truly listened without preparing your reply? When was the last time you took full ownership of a mistake without making excuses? Comment below and share your story. Because when we practice humility and accountability, we don't just change our own lives, we change the culture we're part of. And that, more than any title or achievement, is what true leadership is all about. Empathy and meaningful work. Building a life you want to wake up for. We are living in a time of incredible opportunity and of quiet crisis. Technology has connected us more than ever yet. It has also isolated us in ways previous generations never knew. Dopamine hits from likes, comments, and notifications mask deeper needs. The need to belong, to be seen, to matter. Simon Sinek warns us that if we are not careful, we will raise a generation and live lives ourselves, built more on fleeting validation than on real, meaningful connection. And nowhere is this more evident than in the way we work. Many people today move through their careers like ghosts, clocking in, performing tasks, collecting paychecks but feeling hollow inside. They tell themselves that's just the way it is, that passion is reserved for the lucky few, that loving your job is like winning the lottery. But it's not true. Loving your work is not a privilege for the lucky. It's a right for the courageous. It's a right you claim when you demand more from yourself and your environment. It's a right you defend when you refuse to settle for a culture that treats you like a number instead of a human being. The real solution begins with empathy, not the shallow buzzword version of empathy, but the raw, inconvenient practice of actually caring about the people you lead, the people you work with, and even yourself. If someone on your team is struggling, do you notice? If someone seems distant, do you ask why? If someone is overwhelmed, do you offer support without waiting to be asked? Empathy is messy. It takes time. It requires vulnerability, and that's why so few leaders practice it. But those who do change everything around them, companies don't magically have good cultures. They are built painstakingly, intentionally, one interaction at a time. The leaders who get it right don't ask, "How can I get the most out of my people?" like wringing a towel dry. They ask, "How can I create an environment where my people can be at their natural best?" When people feel safe, when they know they are valued, not just for what they do, but for who they are. They will give more than you could ever demand. They will innovate. They will collaborate. They will fight for the mission because it becomes personal. They will work hard, not out of fear, but out of passion. Daily motivation, then, is not just about fueling your own fire. It's about creating spaces where others' fires can burn too. It's about lifting your head from your own grind and asking, how can I make this place, this team, this project, this company, a place people are proud to belong to? And yes, it starts with you, not waiting for the perfect boss, not blaming the system. It starts with the decision to be the kind of person who builds belonging wherever you go. The kind of person who makes others feel stronger, not smaller. The kind of person who doesn't just work hard, but who works with heart. Today, I want you to ask yourself a hard but necessary question. Are you building a career that drains you or a life you can't wait to wake up to? Comment below and share what is one small shift you can make this week to bring more meaning, more connection, more humanity into your work. Because at the end of the day, success without meaning is empty. But success built on empathy, purpose, and real human connection, that's the kind of legacy that outlives you. Success is not a one-time event. It's the result of thousands of small, conscious choices made over a lifetime. Today, we uncovered 5 powerful lessons. Sharpen your axe before you swing harder. Chase your dreams instead of fearing the obstacles. Lift others as you rise. Lead with humility and accountability, and build a life fueled by empathy and deep connection. These aren't just ideas, they are daily disciplines. They are the foundation for real, lasting growth. Daily motivation isn't about short bursts of energy. It's about building a mindset that keeps you focused, grounded, and moving forward every single day. Let this be your reminder. You already have everything inside you to create a life worth living. You just have to choose it every morning, every action, every conversation. It's a chance to sharpen, to serve, to rise. Now I want to hear from you. Which lesson hit you the hardest today? Comment below and share your biggest takeaway. If you're ready to make daily motivation part of your journey, not just today, but every day, make sure to subscribe. Let's keep sharpening, growing, and leading together.